Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Rising Laterally podcast. This is Arjun Sachdev.
And this is Jay Ballou. We hope you find something here that offers you new meaning or a fresh perspective.
If you do, we encourage you to give it life.
Be bold.
Experiment.
And most importantly, bring it into the interactions with the people you surround yourself with.
And see what happens. Today we have the distinct pleasure of having Michael Losier on the podcast. He's the author of the best-selling books Law of Attraction and Law of Connection, with another book that we're going to be talking about today called Your Life's Purpose: Uncover What Really Fulfills You. If you've ever heard him have any conversations, you know that we're in for high energy, great vibrations, and actionable insights. Michael, you're coming in live from beautiful British Columbia. Thanks for taking some time away from this snow, and welcome to the show.
You're welcome. Well, I live in the only Canadian city that doesn't snow.
Look at that.
Glass all in my view. So it's
beautiful.
It's on an island. It's a little bit bigger than Gilligan's Island, but the snow doesn't land here. So that's why I live here.
Nice.
And I've already learned something. 15 seconds into this episode, I've already learned something new. That's fantastic. But Michael, you're super well known because of your book, Law of Attraction. You've had numerous engagements. You travel to hundreds of cities every single year. You've been on Oprah 4 times, and now you're doing a lot online. Do you actually want to get back on the road? I mean, how have you adjusted to life online with the virus? Let's just tap into that to see how you think the shape of your business might look in the future.
Well, I'm going to answer your question with the end result. When you understand what your life's purpose is, in other words, when you understand what fulfills you, the real key is what are the strategies that can help me fulfill my needs? And for years, my strategy was traveling around the world and being in front of 2,500 people and staying in 5-star hotels and TV and just like that was my life. It was like Hollywood, and I loved it because I got my needs met. But since I haven't been doing that and I transitioned out of that about 6 years ago, I thought, okay, well, I still got to get my needs met. I knew what they were. In my book, we're going to talk about it shortly, Your Life Purpose, there's the target. That's the goal right there. Oh, what's the purpose in life? I can tell you right now, it's to feel good. So when you know that's the purpose, people say, no, my purpose is to be a speaker. No, you're not. Your strategy is to be a speaker because you can get these outside needs met.
Right.
So
okay.
If I can get my top 4 needs met, and the book I started off with 30 needs, and it's like Survivor. You keep voting off the ones, and at the end of the exercise, guess what? The top 4 or 5 stand out, and you say, "Holy balls, that is so accurate."
Absolutely.
And afterwards, when these needs are met, I'm on fire, and when they're missing, I'm bored. Because I'm so bored. Well, that's because you're not being fulfilled, and most people don't know what it is. So to go back to the question now, when I traveled and on stage and TV and radio, and I would go anywhere. I went to Malaysia for 28 days and I did 32 seminars in 28 days.
Wow. That's a busy month.
Some of them were lunch and learns and some of them were breakfast meetings. I was a machine. And it was really funny. So my team in Malaysia, they were trained by me to do seminars, and they said, let's bring the master over here and put some seminars on. And it went like wildfire. Do you know my book was in the top 10 in Malaysia for 10 years?
Wow.
In Malaysia. So when I went to Malaysia and Southeast Asia, and now it's published in 37 languages. So, so I'm going to Malaysia. We're doing seminars. We're getting all of our needs met. And I arrived at the airport and they had a binder this thick. And the binder was all the engagements that I had, the history of the company and all that stuff. I thought, what do you want me to do with that? And they said, it's the background to every speaking engagement. I said, here's how we're going to play this game. In the car, on the way there, you'll answer these questions. Who are they and what's their problem? And I will deliver a razzle-dazzle, high energy, high participation, 100% full participation by every audience member, whether it's 20 minutes or 45 minutes. And they'll think I've been working with them forever. 2 questions. Who are they? What's their problem? They laughed at that. And guess what? They'd pick me up in the car. And I was always nervous in the car because I sat on the front and the opposite side that we're used to. So whenever we're going on the highway, I'm thinking they're turning the wrong way. So it was nerve-wracking, but I got used to it. But they would say, okay, we're going to like Yamaha. In Malaysia, there's a lot of head offices. They don't mess around with training in Malaysia. They have training rooms that are theaters that hold thousands. The Malaysian government spends lots of money. They're the best trained country with their employees. It's mandatory. The Malaysian government gets all the companies to put into a training fund, and then all the companies can access it to get all the. So training is everywhere.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You want to do training, go to Malaysia.
That's interesting.
So that was a story there, just to say, just doing the same presentation over and over and over again, finding out who the problem is in the audience.
That's
Did
awesome.
that answer your question? Was that a question?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing or how you're doing it, as long as you know you're getting fulfilled because you know you have the clarity on the top 4, then you're going to be happy.
You can bet that I'm getting it met now because I don't play. In other words, if I don't get my needs met, and it sounds pretty selfish, oh, there's a dirty word, I am selfish. You know what selfish is? Selfish equals self-care. Right. I care about myself to make sure I'm only doing the stuff that makes me feel good. Yes, that makes me selfish.
And Michael, for the people that are listening only over audio, do you mind reading those words off?
Yeah, for sure. So you can imagine I'm having a target, like we're playing darts. The very center of this target is the word joy. So when people say, what's the purpose in life? What's the target? The target is to feel good. I said, oh, okay. Then on the outside ring, let's say the ring around the target. So if that's the target, then I need to do things. And in my book, I call it create strategies. And what's a strategy? A strategy is something to do. So, okay, if I want to experience joy, then I got to create things that bring me joy. Oh, that's easy. Oh, hashtag no, it's not, because most people don't know what fulfills them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Money fulfills. Money doesn't fulfill you, but money will help you get a fulfillment need met. So the outside of the ring, if you can imagine, there's 3 rings. The outside of the ring, it says you need to identify what fulfills you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more. So in my book, Your Life Purpose, I have a list of 30 fulfillment needs. I coined the name fulfillment needs. What does it mean, Captain Obvious? I don't know. How about needs that fulfill you? I mean, does that need to go in a dictionary somewhere? There's a list of 30. I didn't create them. I've been doing this for years, and I would hear people say, I'm going to give you some on the list. Accomplishment. That's a fulfillment need. Some people love accomplishment. They love checking off a box. They love, washing a window and standing back and say, there, I've accomplished that. And other people could care less. So It's not for you. Another one here is achievement. Here, listen to one of mine. You won't be surprised. Attention.
Right.
Top need. But here's what's important when I talk about the book. You can reframe the words so it feels better, because nobody wants to think they need attention. You know what mine is? Attentiveness. Say yes if you're both being attentive right now.
Yes.
So one of my needs is attention, which is attentiveness. Now, when I was younger and in school, I got my attention needs met, but in a destructive way. I was a show-off and a class clown. And so I got my attention needs met destructively. But as a business adult, I'm getting my attention needs met constructively. I don't know. How about doing a live Facebook show every Saturday for 154 weeks? How about doing the days of Google, what was it called? Google Hangouts. 357 weeks I did that. How about doing 100 seminars in 30 days? It's not work to
absolutely.
me.
So it's not work to you because you're fully fulfilled. So let's just slow you down because you're sharing a lot of gems. So to just recap what you said right there, the biggest thing that happens when people identify their fulfillment needs is they find joy and they can live off of that vibration. That's why it's important to actually know what your fulfillment needs are. And then, as Michael said, he had landed on 30 of these common fulfillment needs that we all really can relate to. And in the book, you actually share what each means. But the bottom line is that people can, once they identify it, then they can apply it to their career, their relationship, or to their selves. So I just wanted to slow it down because there's a lot of gems here and people may be taking notes.
Well, I appreciate that. And I do need slowing down. This whole concept that the target is to feel good is a paradigm shift within itself. It is a head turner. And, one thing that's common with all my books, they were seminars first. All of them were seminars first. So you can tell my book, it isn't a bunch of love stories and about this. It's do this, say this, write this, carry this over, do this. So I've done these seminars hundreds of times.
Hmm.
And every time people would say, really? But I thought my purpose was to be a painter. And I would say, no, painting is your strategy to get your needs met. Well, I thought my purpose was to be a mother or a healer. No, there's strategies. And then some people might limit themselves, say, well, the only way I can get my needs met because my purpose is being a singer. What if you could get your needs met being a dancer and a guitarist and a plumber and a bus driver? Like, so I'm just having people say, no, the job you have, there's got to be strategies. Now, just take a look at the work people have right now. Are you fulfilled at work or not fulfilled? If you're fulfilled, then some of these are getting met. And if you're not fulfilled, then these are not getting met. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, and it seems like you can build a number of different strategies to ultimately get to that center point of the target, which is joy. Like you don't need to have all of your fulfillment needs met with one single strategy or one single behavior.
That was perfect. Yes, that's exactly my point. So when you guys said, hey, so I'm going to tell you my top 4 and how I had to bounce my top. So my top 4 become my yardstick to say yes or no. I don't compromise.
Right.
I don't play. I'm either getting them met or I'm not playing. Is that pretty selfish of me? Yes. I've had a whole career, and most of my career, I always said yes just because I was asked. You want a nugget? This is the nugget. You don't have to say yes just because you were asked.
Yeah.
Now I've got a yardstick. Right. If you can meet the top 4 needs, I'm in.
So then how should people go about understanding how to actually prioritize their fulfillment needs? Like, so you landed on 4 or 5. Now, how should I prioritize them?
Okay, it's a really good question. In the book, I talk about the yellow sticky exercise. So put all 4 or 5 needs, 1 per yellow sticky. And then when you have a great experience, I might get done this interview and thinking, wow, that was on fire. I really love that. And I might look at the 5 stickies or 4. I said, what just got met there? And the one that's getting met the highest right now is my influence. My top need is attention, but my second need is to influence people in a positive way. So that's through the roof right now. So I might pull that one out and put it on the top.
Interesting.
Right? And then I remember a time when I was asked to volunteer somewhere, and I was pretty excited. It was like a holistic event. And I got there, and they wanted to put me in the parking lot.
What do you mean? To present in the parking lot?
No, traffic. To volunteer. I said, no. He said, if I'm not in, you know what? You want me to volunteer? Put me in charge of people, and I'll get.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Not your gift. Yeah.
I'm not willing to do that. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's an interesting thing too. It's like, Jay, you just mentioned the word gift. I think people also are trying to balance what is my gift versus what is my talent. Michael, what would you say to that?
What is my gift? What is my talent? I think they're pretty similar. Here's the thing about words. We can slice and dice them a lot. And then think, well, that's not what I meant. And that's not what I meant. If someone says, well, my gift is to sing, that could be their talent, right?
Right.
And
your gift may be that you can influence. Your gift may be that you can influence. Your talent is that it's done through singing, or in your case, it's done through these engagements.
That's right. Yeah, and I think talent, you can learn that. You can become talented or more talented, right? Maybe
right.
As well.
Yeah, and sometimes the things that people are naturally, born gifted at don't meet their fulfillment needs. Like you may be a brilliant singer, but if you just kind of by virtue of winning the genetic lottery, you're a great singer, but doesn't mean bring you much joy, then it doesn't really make sense to build your life around that. And if there's something else that brings you fulfillment need and you need to work at it in order to become good at it, then I think that's a much better project.
You only have to think about, because I traveled a lot and, I know what it's like. I remember once being asked to go to Hong Kong from Vancouver. So that's a 16-hour flight there, miss a day. Arrive in Hong Kong, and even though it's a 5-star flight and all that other stuff, it's still, you wake up the wasted day, speak in front of 12 CEOs, listen to this, with a translator.
Mm.
So no one's looking at me already. They're looking at the
Yeah.
translator.
Yeah.
And do a 40-minute presentation for 12 to 15 CEOs. Well, you know what? I didn't have to take long to bounce it off my list. So I'm not doing that. They tried to throw more money at it. Money is not on my list. It's not a fulfillment. That'd be 5 days out of my life to watch people watch a translator. No. So back to you guys. You guys said, hey, love to have you on a guest. Okay, here's my top 4 needs. Need number 1, attentiveness and attention. Need number 2 is influence in a positive way. Need number 3 is intimacy. What does that mean? Into me,
see. Yeah.
You know, I don't play the game where we talk about sports and the weather and cars. I don't do that. It has to be an intimate conversation, goals and successes and challenges. All my work is around that, helping people get through stuff, helping people advance, helping people do better. I don't care what kind of car you drive. I'm not impressed. It doesn't matter to me, right? So that's what intimacy is, means into me, see.
In terms of intimacy,
freedom.
In terms of intimacy, I would love to ask you, since you've had the opportunity, what was it like sitting with Oprah and, you know, getting that type of experience? What was the vibration like between you two? Bring us a little closer.
Well, it was a radio interview that I did. And in my whole career, I never once solicited work, sent a media release, or did any pitches. And I was interviewed by Oprah 4 times on her Soul series, the most interviewed guest. Within weeks, I had my own radio show on the Oprah Harpo Network for a year, the Michael Losier Law of Attraction show. I never had a business card. I never made a phone call. I never pitched anything.
And how did that come together?
Well,
doing all
this, if I didn't talk about Law of Attraction.
Yeah, so actually, let's speak about Law of Attraction, because that's obviously, you know, the book that is pretty popular. A lot of people know about it. And in that book, you explained how we can attract more of what we want and less of what we don't want in our lives. And that basically, you know, the only thing more obedient than a well-trained dog is the Law of Attraction, right? It's the energy, and energy attracts like energy. So how did you actually first get introduced to the Law of Attraction? And then what made you realize that it's actually discovering your life's purpose that can set the foundation for that law to be stronger?
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know about my life's purpose when I was doing this, but I knew I felt good doing it. So, and then in hindsight, if I said, well, what needs were getting met? What needs were getting met when I was sitting in my living room with 44 people 20 years ago, and everybody's gobsmacked.
Yeah.
At a Law of Attraction. Oh, do you think I was getting my 4 needs met? I didn't. I didn't even know why.
Yeah.
You know, even I kind of grew up on my own. I have a sister 7 years older, a sister 7 years younger. Guess what? You don't play with your siblings when you're 7 years apart. I was very independent. I didn't need company. I didn't need people around me. I didn't need friends. And I'm not saying that in a sad way. I was very creative. Even when I was young, my parents never gave me boy toys or girl toys. They were neutral, and they were art toys, clay toys, and spirographs, and crayons, and all kinds of. I mean, I had a craft room. It was all that was me. So I also saw the relationship between negative people and negative things. I was growing up and going to school, and people talking about being bullied, and part of me was kind of smart when I was that age. So I saw the relationship, and I was overweight even when I was young, like real fat when I was probably 12 or 13 years old in school. So I knew if I was worried about being bullied, I'd get bullied. And then I also knew that thinking, no, when somebody was nice to me, I would pay attention to that. So I was doing this. I was in a high vibe zone this was like many years ago. But I didn't know what it was called, but I knew the relationship. I knew that when I thought negative stuff, it would happen. When I thought positive stuff. So anyway, I'm going through high school, very, very independent, didn't hang it out with anybody. I was naturally kind of withdrawn, even going through college, withdrawn, didn't have a lot of friends. And then I eventually moved from the East Coast of Canada to the West Coast. Start taking some NLP courses, some personal development stuff. There was a lot of spiritual centers out here. And then I had a friend call me and said he was going to Seattle to see a speaker. Would I go with him? And I said, what's it about? He said, I'm not going to tell you. Just say yes or no. So I live on an island. So I took a ferry from Victoria, Canada to Seattle. He met me there. We go to the seminar. We go in the room. There's no agenda. There's nothing. And we're sitting down. And we were at an Abraham Hicks seminar. And it was a woman that channels information about the subject of attracting and law of attraction.
Interesting.
And I'm sitting in the chair thinking, holy S-balls. This is what I've been experiencing my whole life. Oh, by the way, before I got there, my friend said, if you don't want to stay the day, he goes, I'm staying. If you don't want to stay. And I already didn't like it because there was no handouts and agenda, because that was my
Oh, you like that? Yeah.
no agenda.
Yeah.
My friend said, listen, if you don't like it, just leave on the break and then meet me, in the lobby at the end of the day. Well, I was ready for that. That was plan B.
Right. Yeah.
And probably within the first 3 minutes, I was numb. And I thought, oh my God, this is what I've been experiencing. And the one key sentence that I learned that changed everything for me, and it prompted me on the ferry coming back to Victoria. My friend he drove to Vancouver. I had to take a ferry. And on the ferry, I thought, I have got to talk about this with my friend Linda, who is into NLP. So her and I had a meeting, and she was thrilled because I told her the most profound thing that I learned. And she said, I needed to hear that too. Because we were pretty good at manifesting. We're using NLP stuff and words. And so we're bragging about stuff we're attracting, and boom. And I'm going to tell you what it is. First, law of attraction is this energy around us. And I can't prove it to anybody. I can't put it in a test tube. I can't put it in a petri dish. I can't pass it around the room. It's never been my job to ever do that. I've never once tried to prove law of attraction. But in the thousands of presentations and seminars, I help people understand why it is they're attracting what they're attracting, and how to deliberately stop attracting negative things so they prove it to themselves, because that's not my job. So understanding that, law of attraction is this energy right now. Can't look at it. I can't feel it. I can't do anything with it. And it's energy. And right now, this energy is responding to my energy.
Right.
And in the law of attraction world, I call it a vibe. Inside my book, Law of Attraction, this is the vibrational bubble guy. This is your vibe. It's only a cartoon, but is it true we could stand beside somebody and pick up their vibes?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's how I thought you were going to be able to prove it.
So a vibe isn't something that you smell or see or hear or taste. It's a feeling. Now, the word vibe, although it's a cute 4-letter word, actually comes from the longer word what?
Vibration.
Imagine me 20 years ago using the word vibration and everyone's tee-hee and giggling, and now it's a kind of household word. And if it's not a household word, what is a vibration? A vibration is simply a vibe. And what is a vibe? A vibe is a mood or a feeling. And there's only two kinds, negative or positive. And right now, whether you're doing it or not, or believe it or not, or understand it or not, or denying it or not, you and I are sending off or emitting or putting out a vibe right now. And there's not one in the middle. Oh, what about the one? There's not one in the middle. There's different degrees, though. You can be like, oh, I'm kind of content. That's on the positive side. Or it's like, I am totally elated. But there's different ranges. Or you could be irritated but there's not one in the middle. And this vibration that you're sending is coming from what you're giving attention to with your thoughts and your words.
And I would say that your vibration is different than what you're consciously thinking as well.
It can be, yes. And I'm going to show you this little model to explain that. So let's take a look at this. It all starts out with the words that I'm using, because the words that I'm using are forming the thoughts that I'm thinking. So now I'm just thinking about stuff. I might be thinking about oh, I hope my client doesn't cancel this afternoon. I'm just giving, and that's made up of the words, I hope my client doesn't cancel this afternoon. But now I just thought about it for a moment. But as I think about anything, whether it's a minute longer or lesser, it causes me to send the vibe of that. I'm not even doing it on purpose. What causes me to send the vibe? I send the vibe every time I include something in my vibration. And by including it, I mean thinking about it. So now I'm thinking about it just by having the thought now caused me to include it. And when it gets included, now law of attraction is eavesdropping on it. And now it's giving me more of the vibration that I included. So I get more what? Say it when you see it.
Results.
Results. All of the results
So
that you're getting are always coming from the vibe that you're sending about it. And the vibe that you're sending about it is coming from the thoughts that you're giving, including. And it starts with the words that you're using.
Yeah, that's right. So the breaking it down, it starts with words that form thoughts, which ends up you sending vibes out, which ends up in a result.
Okay, now I'm going to show you how that works in people's real life. Let's say you are wanting to go for a job interview, or you're wanting to get a client or a customer. You know, this is a goal that you have. And you come to me and you say, oh, I keep getting rejected at interviews. That's the results. Every interview I get to, it's always not the right thing. And I'm always nervous and I always fumble and they don't have my, it's like, oh, so that's the results you're getting. I didn't create the rule, I'm teaching it. If that's
Right.
the result, you had to have been sending the vibration. So I'll say, but we can hear in their words what they're giving attention to, which is causing the vibe, which is causing the results. Because when they on the way home from their interview, you know what they say? Well, that's exactly what I knew was going to happen. I knew I'd fumble and mumble and I wouldn't get accepted. I never do. And then they go to IHateJobInterviews.com and spend 10 minutes out there. Then they call all their friends, oh, it's a horrible interview.
Yeah.
It never works out. I never get an interview. Every time they tell the story, every time they post it and write about it and cry about it and repeat the story, they're including the vibration of that experience. And law of attraction, this is the most important thing you're going to hear today. Law of attraction isn't smart. It's obedient.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
right.
responding to the vibration that you're sending when you're complaining that you can't get the job interview. Law of attraction's not a thinker, it's a matcher. It's not a decider, it's a matcher. If you're curious, look at these 4 boxes. If you're curious and you want to know the results that you're getting about money, open your wallet. It's a perfect match. Do you want to know what the results are that you're studying about customers or clients? Open your customers and clients file folder.
So in terms of how people can change the result, and if it starts with words, they should probably begin eliminating some words from their vocabulary.
Oh, you think Captain Obvious?
There you go. I got
Yes.
my cape on. I have my cape on. Let's go.
You are ready. So we're going to walk by. You're just one sentence ahead of me, and I get it. So we're talking about getting results. So I'm thinking, boy, if something breaks down in your house, what's the first thing that you look for, hoping you can fix it? You're looking for one of what?
A tool? A reset
reset
button?
button?
Oh, got it. Yep.
A reset button.
Oh, my computer broke down. I don't know how to fix it. Guess what? Well, say yes if you love a reset button.
I
love
do.
reset buttons.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, you know what? We, animals can't do this. We as humans have the ability to reset the results if we don't like them. I don't like these results. I'm going to reset it. So you guys help me out. If I want to reset my results, I need to back up and reset my what?
Vibes.
That's right. Because you know what? The only way to get a different result is to send a different vibe. Okay, I want to reset my results. I need to reset my vibe. If I want to reset my vibe, I need to reset my what?
Thoughts.
Thoughts.
That's right. And what is causing me to have these thoughts? They are my what?
Words.
Here's the 3 words. Write them down. Remember them. Make a circle the size of a golf ball. Write these 3 words in the circle. These 3 words are causing you to attract things that you don't want. Word number 1, the word don't. Word number 2, the word not. And the word number 3 is only 2 letters long. How could it possibly screw up your life? The word no. Don't, not, and no. Okay.
So let me ask you a question on that, because I know that there are people that will be thinking about this specific part and saying, okay, well, I reverse engineer how I think, and I've written down a list of all the things I don't want to be. And now that I know what I don't want to be, I can now act a certain way and I won't be abusive. I will do everything in my power to make sure that we can put food on the table. I'm going to make sure like I have a job, all this stuff. So what would you say to the person who thinks like that?
Okay. If you go type in Google, I don't want to be abusive, what's going to show up?
Probably things that are abusive.
Oh, little happy babies? No. Pretty flowers? No. Documents, videos, pictures, everything about people being abused. When you use the word don't, not, and no, you just gave attention to what you didn't want to give attention to. I don't want lots of money. That little trickery engineering program does not play with law of attraction.
Mm. So it'd be like, I want to be kinder, or I want to be more healing to people.
Yes. So here's the reset sentence. So what do
I want?
Let's have a little practice. Well, first, I want everyone to understand every time you use the word don't, not, and no, you just gave attention to what you didn't want to give attention to. So when I say, oh, I don't want to fail at this interview today, what did I give attention to? Failing at the interview. Yeah, do you know most people plant the seed on the way to the meeting in the car, on the bus?
Oh, I've done it before. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they tell the story, and that story, yeah, it's only words. You're not even saying it out loud. Guess what? Law of attraction doesn't have ears. It doesn't know if you're thinking it, reading it, typing it, smelling it, watching it, reading it. It's responding to how you feel about that story in your head. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't want to bomb this interview. I'm wasting so much time. I'm not good at this. No. The whole time there, I'm in the lobby. I'm worried. It's going to get horrible. That's the vibe I'm setting. And then they match it perfectly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and then that creates like a confirmation.
Reset that experience. When you understand that you precede, that's planting a seed, when you precede the event with your words. Now, quick little example. I live in downtown Victoria. I mean downtown. Parking meter downtown. My friends don't like this. You know those things? We have to pay parking meter. So and there's some non-parking meters. One of my friends said, hey, do you want to come down? I'm not coming till after 6. That is the worst place to park. I never find a parking space. The last 10 times I had to drive around your house over and over. I'm not paying for parking. I hate going down to your house. It's always busy. And you know what? He was right every time. Mm. I'd see him drive. He'd text me, I can't find it. I'd look out and I'd say, you're a fool. You planted that seed when you left your house. And then I have another friend that comes from another city an hour away. And you know what he says? Hold that blue space for me. I always get it. That's what he says.
Yeah.
And he texts me, got the blue space. I'll be buzzing in a minute. Mm-hmm. Guess what? He's always right too. Law of attraction is so obedient, it'll unfold and orchestrate parking paths for it to match yours. And then people say, oh, I've got a parking angel. Guess what? There's no parking. Your vibration created that spot for you. There's nothing outside you doing it to you and for you. You can call it a parking angel because it doesn't care. It is matching your vibration. What about if you pointed at that space and said, this space is here because of me. This space is here because of me.
Yeah, it's mindset shift.
You'll say, this parking problem for me is because of me.
It's so interesting you say that, because on previous episodes in this podcast, we've talked about how the power of you're the person who's creating the world. You're that powerful. The world is coming from within you. And so you're kind of putting that on the paper again for us.
Well, some people don't get that, but I'll help them understand it better. Mm-hmm. It's called law of attraction, but we haven't used that word. You know what word we use? Coincidence, serendipity, synchronicity, fate, karma, meant to be, out of the blue, everything fell into place. When I say, hey, this is such a coincidence, coincidence is evidence of law of attraction. I could say, hey, this is such law of attraction. You know, I just gave you attention, energy, and focus, and the speed at which law of attraction unfolded and orchestrated for you to call me matched how much doubt I had in receiving the call. Mm-hmm. But it's easier to say, this is such a coincidence. Or how about that time that you said you wanted something, your buddy called and said, hey, I'm getting rid of this red blank, blank, blank. You're thinking, really, dude? I was just talking about one of the, has that happened? Yes or no?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
That's evidence of law of attraction. So you're already experiencing it. I'm not here to say oh, this is something new. This is not new. And you don't have to turn it on. It's already on.
Mm-hmm.
You're 100% right.
Very deliberate about the onness of what you're attracting. And today's homework is for you to deliberately reduce and eliminate the words don't, not, and no. And how do you do that? Whenever you use the word don't, not, and no, I want you to say this sentence, see it, read it, own it, make it your new password. So what do I want?
Mm-hmm.
Let's practice. I might say, hey, don't forget. And I thought, oh, don't forget. So what do I want? Now what do I say?
I want to remember.
Remember to contact me tomorrow. How about this one? Don't hesitate to contact me. Oh, so what do I want?
Call me.
Contact me tomorrow. How about this one? This is not a scam. It's like, oh, I didn't think it was a scam until you brought it up. You see, every time you use the word don't, not, and no, you just brought attention to that which you wanted didn't bring attention to. If you're not sure, go to Google, type in no football, see what shows up. Football. Google strips away the words don't, not, and no and brought you what you said you didn't want. Google isn't smart, it's obedient.
I love that.
Type
Google
in
drops don't, not, and no.
Google will send pictures and videos and documents and paintings and graphics because it's not smart, it's obedient. So Google is like vibrational law of attraction. The words that I input into my vocabulary, the words that I read and think about and give attention to are like the box in Google. The words are the same. And in Google, when I press enter and Google says, here's the results, this is what law of attraction says. Here's the results. Here's the results from the input that you've been giving it. And if you want to change the results in Google, do you get all ticked off? No, you say, oh, good. Thanks, Google. I'm getting close. Let me tighten those words up a bit. And then but in the real world, we don't do that. We get ticked off because we're not getting what we want. But everything that you're receiving is a sign of the vibration that you've been sending about it. And only humans have the ability to reset their vibes by changing your thoughts, by eliminating the words don't, not, and no.
Mm-hmm. And a question for you. What happens when someone with positive vibrations encounters someone with negative vibrations? How does the law of interaction play out in those engagements where there's kind of two forces competing with each other?
Okay. We have that all the time. If you take a look at a traditional radio dial that might go from channel 0 to channel 100, and let's say the 0 to 50 are negative people, that's their dial. Oh, by the way, how can you tell what dial you're on? I'm on dial 99. Do I have an app on my phone to tell me that?
No.
That's how you feel inside.
Stand yourself with a wand to find out what my vibe is. I have a vibrational meter reader, and you do too. You know what my vibrational meter reader is? It's an F word, my feelings. My feelings are the indicator where that's my vibrational meter reader. And right now I'm in the high 90s.
Absolutely.
You feel it, yeah.
But I might have a friend in the low 30s. It's rare I'd get a call from them because we wouldn't be in vibrational harmony. But guess what? It might be my friend or an employee or my mother or somebody that comes. And as soon as they dial on the phone, I think, let's just say it's Betty, just for an example. And Betty's on 30. But by the way, how do I know that Betty's on 30? I can tell by how.
Feelings.
I can tell by how I feel when I'm around her. So Betty's on 30, calls me on the phone. And it doesn't say Betty. You know what it says? Minus 30. And you know what most people do? They would lower their dial to meet Betty.
Done that before.
Oh, hi. You don't want to be too excited talking to Betty. You're not allowed to have a good life. Your life has to suck like hers. So we lower our dial to meet theirs. And now I'm in vibrational harmony with Betty. I had to lower my dial to do that. Then when I hang up the phone, do I pop back up to 100? No.
No.
You have one job, and you know what your job is? Mind your vibration. Matter of fact, you could say, I mind my own vibration. This right here. This is the only thing that you have to be doing is you mind your vibration. And I will tell you this will answer a lot of, this will show you how I get such great results in my life. When you're high on the dial and stay there, things come fast, just like that. You know what blocks desire and manifestation? Negative vibration. So now I got a bubble of desire, but now I'm negative. So I have some negative experiences in my life. Now my overall vibration has been contaminated, and I can't attract that thing because the negative vibration is canceled on the positive vibration of the desire. So get to a high vibration, mind your vibration, mind your business, delete the words don't, not, and no, and learn how to reset your vibe, and then ask for stuff.
So off that, let's pull off for a second because mind your vibration is huge, and you could be at a 99 or 100, and you can have people in your life that are also in the 90s. So they're great vibration, but you have literally vibrated yourself out of your circle of people because you're just in a different zone. So how would you go about like, okay, I have just reached a point in my life where my vibrations are so much more different than you, even though you have great vibrations, like I just need to go and do my own journey. How do you guide people to have that kind of conversation with people?
Okay.
Where you're not losing their friend, you're not losing your friend. You don't want to be mean, but you're just like, dude, I'm at a different vibration.
Very valid question. What you're really not asking me is how do I get my friends to raise their vibration to match mine? Right? Would that be ideal? You don't want to flick away your friend. It might be your relatives or your spouse or not you, but there could be people, you can't get rid of them.
And it's not about flicking away. Yeah.
Raise their vibration to match ours. And guess what? It's a trained behavior. Now, what is the common denominator of people that are complaining, worrying, negative, talking about what they don't want? And you already know the 3 words. What's the common denominator for all those 4 kind of people? They use the words what?
Don't not know.
That's right. When I'm complaining, I don't like this, I don't want that. When I talk about what I don't want, oh, I don't like that, I don't like when that happens, or when I'm negative, I'm worrying about I don't want this to happen. So you got to be selfish. Do you remember what selfish equals?
Self-care.
Self-care. You got to be selfish enough to say, I'm not going to allow negative conversation. Listen, when you wear a t-shirt like this, it's hard to go in the restaurant and say, where's the manager? Walk and talk. Yeah. My friends know not to call me when they're in a bad mood unless they want a good reset fix.
There you go.
Because I'm selfish. So let's cue it up. Let's go back to the telephone. You're on 99 on the dial. You're feeling pretty good. Your friend Betty or Bob calls. They're pretty negative. Their life sucks. And you're thinking, and the longer you avoid it, the longer it chews you up. So you say, okay. And you're thinking, you know what? I'm not going to lower my dial this time. I'm going to lock it in. Remember in the old cars on the radio station, you could punch the black, you guys might be too young, you'd punch the black button in and it would lock the station, that mentality. What if you could lock in your 99? Say yes if you're in.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's right. You're going to lock it in. So now your friend, you pick up the phone, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to lock in my dial. And your friend says, oh my God, I had the worst date last night. And now your friend is talking about what they don't want. And what are you going to ask them?
What do you want?
What do you want?
Yeah, so what would you like instead, bro? Well, I just said I don't want that's what you don't want. So you got to reset. And then they stop and they say, oh, I just hate my job like that. They said, well, what would be ideal for you? So by this point, there's 2 choices. They're ticked off with you because you're not going to buy into the negative conversation, or listen to this. You have uplifted them. You have uplifted them from 30 to a 50 because now you're getting to talk about what they do want. And every time they go to complain, you reset them. It's like dog treats.
Mm.
Oh, I don't like this. So what would you like instead? What would be better for you? You don't have to say the exact sentence. You just want them to reset. Just focus on what they do want. And after that conversation, two things will happen. I'm not calling Jay anymore. He drove me crazy today. What do you want? Well, you know what? Bye-bye. Right?
Yeah.
Or when Buddy has to complain to someone and sees Jay's name on his phone, you know what he's going to do to it? Flick. Not calling Jay. He's not putting up with me.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, she'll listen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
People find someone to complain to, yes or no?
Yes.
That's right. And you have a responsibility. That is, if you want to have a high vibe and attract everything you ever wanted, to mind your vibration and don't allow that negative conversation. Now, you can listen to somebody for a couple of minutes, and same with yourself. You can be ticked off and annoyed for a couple of minutes. It's okay for you to be negative as long as you do it briefly. So, Jay, can you read this for me?
It's okay to acknowledge that which you don't like as long as you do it briefly.
I hate when this happens. That's the third client that canceled today. Oh, I hate when this happens. So here's what I like. I like Bob. He keeps every appointment every time. Last week, I nailed it. Every appointment. So you see how I had to acknowledge it to get the steam out.
Right.
But some people go to IHateWhenClientsCancel.com and spend 20 minutes out there, call and run around the office. Everyone's canceling today. It's the third one today.
Yeah.
The law of attraction says, hey, am I doing a good job matching your vibration?
Right.
So get ticked off, get angry, notice what you don't like, press the reset button, give attention to what you do want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you read this one for me too?
You always have the choice to reset your vibes. When they are negative, ask yourself, what do I want? Then focus on what you want.
You see, you can only have one thought at a time. And because I can only have one thought at a time, I can only have one vibe at a time. And law of attraction doesn't remember what the vibe I was holding 10 minutes ago. It's only responding to the vibe in the current moment. That's why it's called the power of now. Law of attraction doesn't have a history and remember or a file folder on what Michael Losier was vibrating yesterday. It's responding to the vibration that you're sending now. Here's one more to read, Jay. You're doing such a good job.
It's okay to be selfish. Selfish means self-care. Care about your vibe enough to include only the things in your life that make you feel good.
This is powerful because it just adds clarity. And I thought that was one of the best parts about reading your last book, Your Life's Purpose, was because it offers exercises, and not only for your relationship, but for your career and for yourself. And when you go through those exercises, you land on 4 or 5 fulfillment needs that bring clarity to your life. And it's interesting. Now that I have that, for me, the next step is understanding how to prioritize it, like you said, with the sticky notes, and then also like actually implementing it. So I'm early in that process, but
it's fun, but who cares what comes first? If you're getting all 4 needs, who cares what's first and what's fourth? As long as you're
right.
But
You're right.
Again, it is nice. It's nice to say, this is the most important thing for me. It's the same thing. So in a relationship, do I need to have those 4 needs met? Yes. And what does attention mean? It means not having your phone around and spending time. That's what attention means. So they carry over. Same with I'm volunteering. I need to get those needs met. When I'm having radio interviews or clients or being asked to do something, it becomes a yardstick. Help you measure it better.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think it's also important to be honest with yourself about what vibes you're putting out into the universe if your fulfillment needs aren't being met. Because I know I've been in this situation before, and I've seen friends or family in this situation where they'll say, nothing's wrong, like I'm good, like I'm happy. And you can tell just being in proximity with them that there's a negative energy there. And, unless you're honest with yourself about the fact that you are in that negative territory, it's going to be really hard to bring that dial up. You know what I mean? So it just takes a certain conversation with yourself.
Yeah. I never buy the answer, everything's good, ever. I'm working with too many people to know that nothing's ever good for everybody. There's always an area of their life that even if you think they've got everything super going on, there's still something that they can have help with. So how you doing? Good. And that's not very intimate to me. Good. No, let's dig deeper. Let's get real intimate. Let's find out what the problem is. Then I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you really want to get into what their thoughts are, because once you start to, if you want to help somebody, you can get into their thought process. Once you get into their thought process, you can really help them alleviate where their real pain is coming from.
Totally.
Okay, we're going to do another card slide.
All right. When you stop talking about what you don't want and start talking about what you do want, the words change, so the vibes change.
There you go.
Mm.
As soon as you change the words, you change the thoughts. And when you change the thoughts, you can only have one thought at a time.
Is it possible to just not think about it? Like, I'm just never going to think about abundance. And by not thinking about abundance ever, it's just going to happen.
No, law of attraction is matching vibration. It doesn't read your mind, right?
Okay.
So but here's the thing about, well, first, Arjun, I got something for you to read. Then I want to talk about abundance, because I'm not going to talk about money. You know why? You know what the vibration of money is? Most people, just the word money sends a negative vibe. You're going to read this. We're going to have a conversation about abundance. Give people a practice what they can do. Tell me what this says, please.
I'm in the process of reducing and eliminating the words don't, not, and no. When I have to use them, I will remember to ask myself, what do I want?
There we go. Good work. Okay, now, this is kind of a hack. I'm a hacker. And remember showing you the boxes, and I was saying law of attraction is responding to what's in this box, which came from here and here. That being true, law of attraction is matching this box, and this box is this guy. These are the same thing. This is my vibration. This is my vibe. Law of attraction is always matching what's in your vibe. But you know what it doesn't know? How it got there. Oh, Michael's giving attention to something. I wonder where it doesn't care where it came from. It's responding to what's there. This is another key important point. Write it down if you're taking notes. Abundance is a feeling. Abundance is a feeling. Money's not a feeling, although it creates one. Abundance is a feeling. What if I could deliberately, you know where I'm going with this. What if I could deliberately include the vibration of abundance, and law of attraction doesn't know how it got in there because it doesn't care, but it caught me sending the vibration of abundance and could only do what to it? Start to match it.
Yes, exactly.
But if law of attraction is eavesdropping on all of our vibrations, it doesn't catch us sending the vibe of abundance. Do you want a couple tools and tips?
Let's go for it.
Let's go for it. Now, I'm going to ask both of you this question. In the last 7 days, has anybody bought you lunch or dinner or anything like that? Has anybody paid for that kind of thing for either one of you?
My wife.
Your wife? Okay, good. Now, as law of attraction is eavesdropping on the restaurant, because it was there, and your wife said, hey, Arjun, I want to pay for tonight's dinner. And you said, oh, thank you. Guess what? Law of attraction caught, that's why people say gratitude is important. Law of attraction is eavesdropping and caught you being excited about that. Or did it catch you saying, no, you don't have to do that. I'll get it. No, you don't have to buy me dinner. Did it catch you saying that? Or did it catch you feeling uncomfortable about that? And I'm not asking you to answer the question. I'm saying it was responding to that. Let's say, here's the new tool, whether it's your wife or a colleague or Jay or somebody else, said, hey, let me buy you a beer. Law of attraction doesn't care if it was a cup of coffee or whether it was a big, giant lobster dinner. Law of attraction is responding to how you feel about that. So you have to exercise your abundant muscle. Here's how you do that. Remember, Jay, this is for you. The longer that I include the vibration of abundance, the more what can happen?
Matching.
That's right. If I pop it in and out for a second, law of attraction didn't have time to grab onto it. What if I held the vibration of abundance longer.
Better opportunity to make a match.
That's right. It's more opportunity for law of attraction to pick up that vibration, unfold and orchestrate, bring more matches. Because, people that are pretty abundant, they're not really playing this game. You see, it's in their own observation of their abundantness is causing them to send the vibration of abundantness. They know they can go to the ATM and get any amount of money at all, and it's coming in here. So they're not doing deliberate exercise. The rest of us are. So here's the deliberate exercise. This is for everybody watching and listening. The purpose of the exercise is to hold the vibration of abundance long. And by long, I mean more than 10 seconds. So what if, Jay, next time you could do this, your wife or friend says, hey, I'm going to buy you dinner. What if you did this? Oh, thank you. I love when this happens. What a great day I'm having. When I got up today, I had a good deal. Not only did my wife buy me dinner, she drove me here. I got free transportation, and not only that, she gave me advice. So now over dinner, I got free advice, free transportation, and a free dinner. I don't know, what does that equal? Like $100? I got $100 today. I had $100 of abundance come my way today. I love when that happens. It happened last week when Jay brought me, we only had a cup of coffee, but we got all kinds of coaching for free. And it was so abundant. Like last week, I got free coffee. And now I'm going on and on and on. And law of attraction doesn't know that I'm remembering, pretending, playing, observing, complaining, worrying, talking about my results, giving gratitude. It doesn't know where any of that comes from. It's just matching the vibration that I hold when I do that.
Yeah, and I think we all know people like that get invited to like one great party one weekend, and then the next weekend they meet their idol coincidentally on the street, or the week after that, something incredible happens at work, and you're just like, God, how did this person fall into all this good luck? And that
Luck,
sequence of events totally aligns with what you're saying.
Luck is evidence of law of attraction. I didn't say it earlier. Quick little story. Vancouver, BC. Every year, they raffle off $1 million home with the Children's Charity Hospital. Tickets are like $100. Been doing it for 20 years. The same guy won it twice. What's his vibration about winning a house? It's like Dr. Seuss. Remember him? Imagine him going to buy the next ticket. Oh, I'm a winner of houses. I just left the house that I won. I win houses easily. I have proof of that I'm a house winner. How about the door prize winners? Are you listening, door prize winners? What do you tell yourself about winning the? Oh, I always win a door prize. I always get the door prize. Every time there's a door prize, it's always me. I'm not surprised. I'm such a door prize winner. Yeah. Law of attraction couldn't buck that current if it tried. I never win anything. Oh, guess what? You're right.
What? Even the grandma is telling me like I always win bingo night. You know? So.
So listen, let's talk about scratch tickets. I'm sure you have them in your country. I'm Canadian, but the little you go to the counter, you scratch off a ticket, and you win $2. Woohoo! I just included my vibration, the $2. I'm so abundant. And then what do I do with the $2 ticket? Quickly, what do I do with it? Do I take it home and celebrate it? No. I give it back and I get another. I win another $2. Woohoo! That's the second one. And I keep playing until what happens? Until I lose.
Yeah. Oh, until you lose. Okay.
And then on the way home, oh, you know what? I should have stopped at $2. I promise you this, that uncashed $2 ticket is worth more than $2 to you. What if you could open your wallet and see 3 or 4 scratch tickets and the total of them is $10? You know what you could tell yourself? I've got 4 winning lottery tickets in my wallet. I've got cashable proof that I can win the lottery. So now you're holding the vibration of your abundantness and not of the scarcity. What if somebody gave you a check and you kept it in your wallet for a few days? What if you put a $50 bill and kept it in your wallet? Here are $50 bills for pink. You can spot those babies a mile away. And even though the bill doesn't have a feeling, it generates one.
Right.
just hanging in my wallet. I love that. Plus an uncashed check. Am I ever abundant? If you can, and I don't mean an affirmation that you're abundant. You have to make a declarative statement about, I am so abundant, I've got uncashed lottery tickets in my wallet.
Let's take this one step further, because this type of language can help people ditch their emotional baggage and physical pain. So should people, like, what are the exact words people should start to say around that? Because I think one thing that's interesting around you and a previous guest we had recently, Dr. David Hanscom, is that both of you believe that, like, we are the source of our own chronic pain. And I think that emotional baggage can be reduced. So Michael, what would you share around that?
Well, it is a third subject, and you can't do it with law of attraction, and you can't do it with words. You can only do it with a magnet.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll briefly explain what it is. It's called the emotion code. And there's a list of 30 unprocessed emotions. And an unprocessed emotion is just that. It's an emotion that you didn't process. Remember, not you, but our listeners, remember the time somebody dumped you and you were embarrassed about that and you were abandoned and you never told anybody? You kept it inside? Well, guess what? That becomes an unprocessed trapped emotion, and it is shaping and steering your relationships. It's stopping you from going forward and making a commitment and want to do this, because that old unprocessed emotion of embarrassment or shame is filtered through your vibration. And I'm able to identify what the emotion is that you lodged within you from a previous relationship and delete it for you. Now, those same negative emotions are causing some of our belief systems. Oh, I can't have money because, nobody in my family ever had money. Well, that's not true, but it's your belief. And a belief is a thought that you think over and over and over and over. Oh, I'm going to keep doing it. And over and over and over. That's what a belief is. It's just a thought you think over and over again.
Yeah.
We've seen it with politics. Before you know it, that repetitive thought that you think over and over again becomes your belief. And I couldn't talk you out of it if I tried. It doesn't mean it's true. It means it's your belief. So with law of attraction, we want to attract something on this hand, but on this hand, we doubt it. And the doubt comes from the belief that we can't have it, or we're not worthy, or whatever that is. And the speed at which your desire will come to you is determined on how much negativity you have about it. You want to win the lottery? That's a positive vibration. Are you not winning it? You must have doubt and negative vibration about it. The speed at which you win the lottery isn't determined in how many tickets you buy. It's determined in how much doubt you have in winning.
So at some point, people need to realize that they have authority over their belief system and value system, and that could take 40 years for people to figure out. But I think there's this idea of like awakening, and that the fact that we are in control, that more people are accepting and understanding. And so that's why I think this conversation is so timely for people.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you a little secret. I can uncover somebody's belief that they have a belief about something when it's followed by this one word. Say yes if you're in.
Yes.
The word because. Oh, I'd love to write a book, but I don't know. I can't because I never went to university. So their belief is that only authors that went to university can write a book. Oh, I could never be thin because I come from a big family. So their belief is that if you come from a big family, you'll always be big.
Right.
The word because is the belief, comes right after it.
Also, if they hear somebody say, oh, I did it this way, or it has to be done this way because that's how I did it. And all of a sudden you hear somebody else's thought, and that becomes my belief.
Yeah. I could be not even listening to you. And as soon as I hear the word because, it's like, okay, what is it? Because right after it is their belief,
Yeah. And typically when you believe you can do something, you don't even say because, you just believe it and do it. It's like, oh, I can start a podcast.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Ends there. Yeah.
Oh, I can't do a podcast. I never went to podcast school,
Right. Yeah.
Listen, I could say that about my entire life. I I've been out of school for 36 years. And do you know how many books I read in 36 years? Lower.
3 to 6.
10.
10.
And 3 of them were mine. I have 4 books in my house. 3 of them are mine.
What are the other ones, if I can ask?
The other one was mostly publishing book. Dan Pointer's book, The Guide to Self-Publishing. I sold 3.5 million copies because I followed his model. Do you want to hear what some of the model was?
Yeah.
Share it.
So, I self-published. I self-published in 2003. It's a long time ago. This was a foreign word. So I was doing these law of attraction meetings in my home, as I told you earlier. And what I was really doing, like every week people had questions, but what they didn't know, the answer was always the same. The answer was always the same. So I had to back up to tell them what they were doing. You know what the answer was? You get what you vibrate. But I couldn't gather 40 people around my living room and said, and what's your question? Why don't we keep you get what you vibrate? Next question. Why don't you get what you, so I couldn't do that. So I had to unfold it. So my NLP friend, Linda, we are good at understanding models and processes and communication style. So people start taking notes and I develop processes and stuff. And then I start doing teleclasses. Every Thursday teleclasses, way before your guys' time, but this was before Zoom and everything was done on, you'd get 300 people on the line and there'd be a key speaker. That was me. I was doing it. I did it, and I'm still working for the government at this time. I'd rush home from work on Thursdays. And you could call it a podcast or whatever. I mean, back then that word wasn't invented. But so I was doing this law of attraction class every Thursday. And I was getting good. And people were emailing me, I love when you said this. And I said, I don't remember I said that. Here's my example. Here's what I did. And then the very first thing I did is I got the book cover designed. That's it. And I got a website called lawofattractionbook.com. And I put the book cover on it. First thing I did. And then it said, to be notified when when available. Now, this was just an idea. So I'm doing these Thursdays every Thursday. So now I'm getting lots of people sign up for this. So I thought, then I went to see a speaker in Victoria at nighttime. And I live on an island. If you're still here at 7:00, you're not leaving, period. So I knew that he was not leaving the island. So I said, hey, do you want me to show Victoria's Canada's second tourist town? So it's all very tourist friendly. So we went for a walk and I was working at the government. I was a trainer, but more like a computer tech trainer, not an empowerment trainer. And I said, oh, I'd love to do what you did. He said, well, you need a book. I thought, a book? I'm a government employee. I don't have a book.
Right.
On the way home, I said, oh, yes, you do have a book. You got a 9-inch binder, thank you cards and people's clarity through contrast worksheets and examples and so on and so on and so on. So I thought I got to learn how to self-publish. And back then, nobody was and now it's common. Everyone's writing a book. But back then, it was a big deal. There wasn't a lot of self-publish except this one Bible, Dan Pointer, Poynter. Here's the tips I learned from Dan Pointer. I went to the Canadian Post Office and I said, how thick does the book have to be to fit in a slot? And they told me. Number one. Then I went to the bookstore and I found the size of a book that measured what the post office told me. It's 142 pages long. So then I came home and I took 142 pages, which is really only 70 pages.
Right.
And then I took a year taking the 8 inches of notes, putting this in. So meanwhile, I had this here, collecting email addresses. It fit into a number 10 envelope. There was worksheets in it for people to fill in, but I knew they wouldn't want to. So remember, 20 years ago, go to my website I was showing off then.
Oh, you're trailblazing. You're a trailblazer.
Getting people to go to my website. So, and I self-published myself, and I was still working for the government. There was a Canadian printer. I bought 5,000 copies. I paid 97 cents each. And I had a credit card, 0 on it. That was it. I didn't have money. I was a government employee doing this on the side, not making money. So I thought, And they told me they'll be here by Thursday. And I think they told me that on Friday or something. So on Sunday night, I sent an email to the people that wanted to know when the book was ready. So I sent it out, and I had it ready, and so I sent it out, and I woke up, and a couple of people replied that night. I said, "Oh my God, I sold 2 books." I was really excited, and I didn't know beyond the delivery of the 5,000. That's all I knew. My picture didn't go beyond that. You know what's coming. So I wake up Monday morning, I turn on my computer, and this happened. I thought I had a virus. You got a new cell. It was going just like that. I sold 5,000 books overnight.
Wow.
I thought, holy S balls. And then I was panicking. So I had 3 days, By the way, I never had to use the credit card because I got paid for all the books like on Monday or Sunday night. And that money was in my bank account. So they delivered the books, and by then I had an emergency barn raising, which meant called all my friends, and I said, we are having a book box envelope stuffing party. And it was just like you would see in a big factory. Boxes of books, I'm signing them. Someone's putting bookmark in it, tissue paper, envelope, stamp it, lick it, and boom, 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 boom. Took about 2 days, mailed them all, and my email was dead quiet. Everybody bought a book that knew about it. Nobody else knew about it.
Right.
Oh, day 3. Oh, can I order a 10-pack? 10-pack? It's got 10 packs. How many books does a box come in? I don't know. I had to go check a box, an empty box. 76. Can we order 2 boxes? And now people are ordering out of my books, and I don't have any. I was getting on Thursday night calls. I was getting on with network marketing companies. And by this time, I did get my book on Amazon, finally. I was doing a call. I would sell 300 books within an hour of being on Amazon.
Wow.
Incredible.
A book that had the word law of attraction in the title. Okay, another quick little story. My book's been out for 3 years. People are talking about The Secret, the movie The Secret. I was asked 2 times. It didn't match my needs or wasn't in vibrational harmony with it. I said no to that. Q 2009 is when The Secret came out, and everybody's talking about, and then Oprah interviewed the people from The Secret, except they didn't use the word secret. They used the word law of attraction.
That's
My
incredible.
book was 76 on Amazon, went to number 9 within an hour of being on Oprah. And then it went to number 3, and it stayed there for months. Harry Potter was number 1. The Secret was number 2. And Michael Losier from Gilligan's Island was number 3.
Wow. That's incredible.
Meanwhile, when my book's in number 3, all the foreign countries in the world, they depend on Amazon to tell them what's hot, right? They don't know. They're in foreign countries. So now I'm getting emails from foreign countries saying, hey, we'd like to speak to your foreign rights manager. We're from Uruguay. And we're in, what? Never mind Uruguay. What's the foreign? I didn't know. And I would say, let me take your name and we'll get back to you. And now every day we're from China publishers, and we're from Hong Kong and Indonesia, all over the world. We're publishers, and we're looking for foreign rights. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't know what. So now I'm going to the book, finding what a foreign rights manager is. And I thought, this is the thought of having to deal with the legality of translating a book. I said, I don't want to do this. So you know what I did? I pulled one of these. I'm in the process of attracting and allowing the most ideal person that knows about foreign rights, because I don't know. Ring-a-ling-a-ding next day. Hi, my name's Liza. We're a foreign rights agent from New York. Who are you? We are trying to get a hold of you. We have a foreign country in Uganda wants to buy the rights to your book, and we've been trying to find you. And really, you couldn't find me. I was living on Gilligan's Island. Nobody knew who I was. I wasn't with any publisher. I was sending books to Amazon myself. There wasn't even an agent in the middle. So she told me what she did, and I said, well, I have a list of 32 countries that are waiting for you. And I think she fainted on the other end of the line. And in 7 days, she sold the rights to my book in 32 countries. It's now in 37 languages around the world, 3.5 million copies. And I never made a phone call ever once in my entire career. Guess what? You get what you vibrate, period.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I'm
That's
only paying
incredible.
attention to my vibrations moving forward. It's all I'm doing.
Yeah. When I was doing seminars and people reminded me, I was doing seminars mostly in Victoria. I'd go anywhere. I was doing seminars in churches, coffee shops, books, and I was shy. But when you put me on stage, it was like somebody was plugging quarters in my back like a wind-up toy. Everything changed. As shy as I am, it didn't matter. I would speak to any group. I would go through, and but last year I was in the government. I went to a 4-day work week, and I took a cut in pay, and I had Fridays off. Oh my God, my favorite day of the week. Why? Getting all my needs met. So I'd go through the newspaper.
Oh, yeah.
Groups that were meeting on Fridays and luncheons, and guess what? Every one of those groups has a speaker coordinator. And they hate having to find speakers. I made it easy. I called and said, hey, I'm a local author. Drop that name. And I would go speak at luncheons and breakfasts on Fridays every day in Victoria. And I would talk about, this was the time when Dr. Phil was on Oprah, but he was on Tuesdays. And it was Dr. Phil Tuesdays, and you watched it if you were into that. And I kept saying, I want to be Michael Monday. I joke, I want to be Michael Monday and Oprah, because everybody said, Oprah's going to love this. I say, I'm going to be Michael Monday. So the funny part is, Oprah interviewed me 4 times. It was aired 3 times a week. It was 4 different weeks. It was aired 4 times every day for 3 months. And then, not only that, then I have friends that are flying Air Canada. Hello, the Oprah channel, Michael Losier interview is on. Remember the day? You guys remember the days where you had to listen to the channel on the airplane?
Yeah.
People are listening to me on Air Canada.
Wow.
So, that's kind of the big picture, how it all unfolded. And it was all in alignment to whatever I gave attention to. And I don't have a special talent or a special gift. The only thing different between me and most people is consistency and bubble protection.
Love that. Now, I don't think there's a better way to end this conversation. That's super empowering. I love the fact that you opened up and shared how you did that, because that expands our brain neurons to understand that it can be done. So selfishly, thank you for that. And just in terms of this conversation, for me, it's obviously pay attention to your vibrations, get some clarity, and make sure your fulfillment needs are being met, because ultimately we're all seeking our joy. And once we find our joy, let's not let go of that frequency.
That's right. Perfect. Jay, what was your key takeaway from today?
Yeah, I think
it's not even my show, and I'm wrapping it up with Jay.
I think the really tangible thing that I'm moving forward with is eliminating don't, not, and no from my vocabulary. And if I have a lack of confidence around something, seeing if there's a because embedded in that sentence in my head that's saying I can't do it, because I think all of those things, when I just look back on creative projects that have taken me longer than they should, or things I've had, anxiety about or apprehension about that I really shouldn't, I'm quite confident that language has been a part of those blocks.
It feeds itself, right? One negative thought finds another one, and those who find another one, and before you know it, you're spiraling. Okay, I just want to bring attention to these cards. These are 10 key training points in my book and in my seminars. They're not really cards, they're just photos that I put on photo paper, a 4x6 glossy photo. There's 10 in total. You can go to michaellosier.com/quotes. You can download all 10 of them, send them to your local photo lab, and they make beautiful gifts, and they're all great reminders, and they're free.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Thanks for having me. You guys had fun, and we were definitely in alignment. I felt that, and I knew that when I said yes.
Awesome. No, we appreciate this. The fact that we were able to read your books and then have this conversation just indicates how surreal existence is.
Yeah. And most authors are pretty approachable, even if you don't think that they are. So, because people approach me sometimes thinking I'm so unreachable. And sometimes, I remember one time, probably about 3 summers ago, a woman on Instagram, she said, I'm in Central Park in New York City. No, she tagged me. She said, I'm in Central Park in New York City reading this book by Michael Losier. She said, I've been here for 2 hours. She's telling everybody, and everybody's commenting. So I go up to her page, and I go to her website, and Michael Losier called her.
There you go. I thought you were going to say you walked by her.
It's Michael Losier calling. And then I said, you know what, every time you use and I start quoting from my book, she said, it's Michael Losier. And I said, you're right, it is. Head touch.
That's awesome.
If you enjoyed this episode, you can sign up for the Rising Weekly newsletter sent out each week.
Every Friday, we expand on the episode with insights, recommendations, and more.
You can sign up at risinglatterly.com.
Thank you.